On December the 27th, some Rainbow Six Siege players started reporting that they had had massive amounts of in-game currency added to their accounts, with some players reporting up to 2 billion credits in their accounts despite not making any purchases. Other players had also received rare outfits or developer-only items in their account, which they clearly did not own. This was eventually found out to be a massive hack that had happened, and what followed only got worse. About an hour after people had started noticing these things happening, Ubisoft announced on their Twitter that they were looking into it, until shortly after they shut down the Rainbow Six servers across all platforms while they worked on the incident. It was later found out that this was a massive hack, with some theorising that it was due to a Mongo bleed, which is a memory leak vulnerability. This is a flaw in the system that can allow hackers to read memory and extract credits if the system was exposed, which it seems like was clearly the case here. Ubisoft did announce later that this was a hack, and once some players were allowed back on, started saying that their accounts were unrightfully banned. Ubisoft came out and said that they didn't issue any bans to anyone, and anyone who used these credits won't find themselves banned. This is obviously the way that this should be handled, as it's not the players' fault that this happened. Players could have thought it was just a visual bug, because I know if it was me, then that's what I'd likely assume. Ubisoft also announced that they'd be rolling back anything that was added to players' accounts during this time. This was clearly always going to be the case, as something as big as this could hurt the game and their dollars, and we couldn't have that now, could we? Now this all kind of happened at a bad time, as most people were on their Christmas holidays, so it was the peak time for people to be playing, and I'm sure that didn't make Ubisoft or the people trying to play the game happy. After all, Rainbow Six is still a massive game that has thousands and thousands of players online every day, and it's a shame to see this happen. I still play this game every now and again, and I still like the game, so it kind of sucks to see. So that brings me to the next question: how did this happen in the first place? My guess would be that the hackers found that apparent memory leak while they were trying to find a way to hack the game, and for their reasoning, who knows? They didn't seem to do anything nefarious, but it seems like they were the ones sending false ban messages to players, which has obviously made players very upset. A few days later, it was leaked that over 900 gigabytes of Ubisoft's data had been breached, and that includes things like source code and development tools, and materials for Ubisoft's previous games and their upcoming games. This later had been claimed to be untrue, but who actually knows what's going on there? I did see people talking on Twitter saying that the apparent hacker group threatened to release upcoming game information if Ubisoft didn't pay a ransom. But that could be a complete lie, so I'd take that with a grain of salt. So one good thing to come out of this, if possible, is that no one's personal data seemed to be leaked, according to Ubisoft. But it makes you think, if they manage to get hacked now, what's to say it won't happen again but with people's personal data? It wouldn't be the first time a big company has been hacked with people's data being leaked. I know these hackers will try and find their way around anything, but I think these companies need to be better, and they need to be found accountable for all these breaches. And if they're not going to be held accountable, they need to go harder on the hackers when they find out who they are. There needs to be real life consequences for these people. Like I said, I know this one's minor, but it's still not good enough. The perfect example of something like this is the Nintendo lawsuit against Gary Bowser. He now owes them $14 million and he went to jail as well. Now, I'm not saying that that needs to happen to every hacker that's out there, but it'd certainly stop a lot of these hacks from happening. Alright, so Rainbow Six's servers are now back online and everything seems to be back to normal. So if you guys want to jump on and play, you shouldn't run into any issues. If you guys did have something happen to your account, send a comment below and we'll talk about it. Alright guys, subscribe if you're new around here and like the video. I upload new videos every week, so look forward to that. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.